Right, so welcome to this live stream with the Keto Foodie. For those of you who are watching this on a replay or don't know who I am, my name is Anna Smith and I am the Keto Foodie. And we are here on this Sunday to just have a chat with you as whether you're beginning, starting again, or just feeling a little confused about anything that goes along with this way of eating. And for my own background, I've been doing this for a good part of the year, at least since April, and then kind of went off a little bit and then came on and then went off a little bit again and came on. But that's life, isn't it? But in other news, I am also a fitness instructor, a Zumba instructor, and a Sharky belly dance instructor. I'm also training for to become a health coach. So that is where my background is, and we've been doing keto for a while, and it's been a bit difficult, especially this month, the end of last month, the beginning of this month, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about, because I hear that some of you are also having the same issues that I had. I've had a stressful, well, since December, it's been a bit stressful, but particularly the end of January. So these past 2 weeks have really been stressful, and I will say that I went off and wasn't eating keto at all, really, for the past 2 weeks. And that happens. And I know that some of you are having the same issues as well. So Dee said it just nicely there. How do you handle stress without backtracking? Sometimes you backtrack, and that's okay. That's all right. It's about getting back on, isn't it? It's about going, right, I'm going to take from this point and move forward and stop beating ourselves. Because when you look at people who don't have weight issues or are fine with their health, I mean, there are times when they're eating more and their weight will go up, but they're not paying attention to it. And eventually they just get right back onto their regular way of eating and they level out. For those of us who are looking to lose weight, it is not a straight downward line. There are, it just does that. It's timey-wimey. It is not linear. You're gonna have times where you're eating completely on track and you'll still gain. There are times when you'll be, half the week you haven't eaten on your plan and still lose. Body is the body. It does its own thing. What we do is to help it to do what it can when it can. But sometimes that's not going to work the way we expect it to. So I think for me, these past 2 weeks has specifically been the stress of things with work and being made redundant and essentially being laid off. I'm working my notice at this point in time, which means I've got 5 weeks and then I won't be working at all unless I find another job. That is stressful. And for me, the way that I've handled it has been not planning whatsoever and really just eating whatever I find. And interestingly enough, still haven't touched the bread. It's really weird. I still go in with a full intention of just, hey, I want bread. I want to get a loaf or something, not a loaf, a roll or something. And I will go, and as much as it smells amazing, I still go and I stand there and nothing looks appetizing and I walk away. That doesn't mean, however, that I'm not overdoing it on carbs in other areas. They tend to be mainly because of um, other. I've gotten rice in there, or sweets, or something along those lines, or a starchy veg. Those have been what I've quote unquote cheated with, and just eating a lot in general. Um, and that has been how I reacted to stress. But mainly, the main thing has been not um, not planning. It has been a lot of I'm getting home, I don't want to cook, my brain's not into it. Let's order something, or I come back, having picked up something from outside. That happens, and there will be times that you have this kind of stress. Something will come and either completely sweep you off your feet and surprise you, or even if you knew it was coming, it can still be stressful. Um, so the first thing that I say is, look, it's normal. Um, I guess right now it's how do you get past it? So we're going to talk about that. Before we do, I just wanted to answer Jennifer's comment. So it says, went over to YouTube and can't comment. Um, that might depend on what you're on. For me, if I'm on my tablet or my computer, I can comment on YouTube on the video. If I'm on my mobile phone, I cannot comment and I can't see the chat either. So it might depend on what you're on. And in some cases, you have to sort of open live chat and then it'll open on the right-hand side. But that's really probably the issue. So it depends on what you're on. So you won't be able to chat if you're on a mobile phone. So how do you get past it? And how do you get back on track? And for some people, it's not even the fact that they're stressed. We're coming up to 6 weeks since we started this challenge. And for some people, it gets tiring. It can get monotonous, especially if you are eating the same things day in and day out. Oh, you're on your laptop. Okay. There should be something to click that talks about live chat. So take a look and see if there's anything on the right-hand side. I think the way I'm going to approach it, and you let me know if this is something that would work for you, is getting back in on planning. Planning what you're going to eat for the rest of the week. Even if you don't really stick to it, at least you've planned, you've sat down, you've thought about it, you have a general focus. Your shopping will be more focused rather than winging it. And you can have food that are friendly in your house to keep you on track. I think definitely no matter what's gone on, and if you've gone off or you've had a cheat day or whatever, planning is key to getting back on track and starting meal by meal. Sometimes that's all you can do is plan one meal to the next rather than a full week, or rather than most of the week. If all you can do is plan that today and tomorrow, then by all means plan it. Think about what you can bring in. Does it mean you're going back to absolute basics, say bacon and eggs in the morning, or some chia pudding in the morning, and then a salad for lunch, and then some sort of meat and veg for dinner? Or does it mean going back to intermittent fasting? I have to say that for me, I have found that since I had gone off these past couple of weeks, I find it difficult to intermittent fast at work. Here at home, not a problem because I don't seem to really ever care about breakfast when I'm at home. But at work, I seem to just constantly want food. I think part of the problem is that the people around me are constantly eating food, to which part of that is, well, you're eating a lot of carbs. That's going to shoot up and, shoot up the energy and then just drop it back down so quickly so that you're constantly wanting something else. So I understand the science behind it. But the fact that they're constantly eating makes me want to constantly be chomping on something. So I think planning and having that food with you for the day, that you can just go to, and having perhaps, if you want to ensure that you're not snacking in on whatever they've brought in, that you have your own snacks, whether it's some almonds, or some walnuts, some dark chocolate. One of my work colleagues brought me back a 90% dark chocolate, which our local supermarket doesn't. They only go up to 85%. She brought me back 90%. And wow, the difference between the 85 and the 90% is so different. I now feel that the 85% is the sweet one. But the 90% just, I can have one square and continue. So I think that planning is key, to just making sure that you're going to stick to it a bit more closely. Hold on. D says, at work I have to deal with a lot of chocolate. People reward and share bad chocolate after stressful meetings or events. D, the only thing I can say to you is have your own stash of chocolate and perhaps nuts or seeds that you can turn around and go, no, I'm okay. And then quickly go to your desk and pop out a square of really dark chocolate and enjoy that. Or have some nuts and enjoy that. The other thing that you can do, if you have the time and the availability, now I know that both D and Jen can't just walk away from their desk. But the other thing is, of course, having liquid. Don't forget to be drinking your water. That is one thing that these past 2 weeks I have been absolutely horrible with. And that is, besides planning, that is my main focus for this week, is to ensure that I've got my water intake and that it is up there. But the other thing that keeps me going is bulletproof coffee. So during the morning, I concentrate on having coffee with cream and making it nice and creamy. And perhaps even if I have the MCT oil, I'll add MCT oil. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with what MCT oil is pure fat. And hey, she figured it out. Right. Figured it out. This helps in general because lets everyone know. Okay, cool, great. 5 pounds down for Jan. Fantastic. Wine is biggest issue, fine. Okay, I'm gonna get to that in just a sec. But I'm gonna put up a video regarding MCT oil, but just so that you know what MCT oil is, it's made from coconut, but it's not coconut oil. It is medium chain triglyceride, and that's what MCT stands for. And what it does, it goes into your body, gives your body a boost of energy, gives your brain a boost of energy. So for my teaching friends, get in on it. But it also, because it bypasses everything and goes straight into your body, and it encourages your body to up its ketones naturally. And that's different from exogenous ketones. Exogenous ketones, again, just put the ketones in your mouth, which if you've got the ketones in your mouth and you've already got the ketones, there's no reason for your body to make ketones. So when you've got people saying, "Oh, exogenous ketones," stay away. It doesn't make sense. The only people who need it are people who are working out for long periods of time. And I mean long periods of time. Not even the regular person if you're there for an hour and a half. No, doesn't matter. stay away from exogenous ketones, but MCT oil is different. And it encourages your body to naturally make ketones and start burning. So it gets you into ketosis faster and it keeps you burning nice and hot, as I like to say. But what you want to look for, of course, is the chain 8. There are several chains, and it's just the length of the chain. So there's 6, there's 8, there's 10, and there's 12. The one that you want to go for is chain 8. And you want to, if you're looking for an MCT oil, and actually I will link to it down below so that you can order it on Facebook, whether you're in the UK or the US. And it is, you want to go for the purest form of chain 8 that you can. If it's got a little bit of chain 10, that's fine, but you want to go for 97 or above when it comes to your MCT oil in chain 8, in C8. And one of the main reasons is that chain 8 or C8 MCT oil is odorless and tasteless. When you get down to 6, that's got a flavor. The other thing that you want to ensure is that if you don't like oil, because you can put this on your salad along with some olive oil. You can put this in your coffee. But if you don't like oil, there's also an MCT powder. Again, ensuring that you're getting the highest number of C8 that you possibly can. Again, if there's a bit of C10, that's fine, but you don't want, the reason why you don't want it to be too much C10 is that C10 needs to break down first. So it takes a bit longer to break down and then get into your body or get around your body. So, so that's what I count on in the mornings to keep me going without having to really go out and have food. But again, because of these past 2 weeks, I have still gone out and gotten some breakfast. Now, breakfast tends to be bacon, eggs, and cheese. But still, if I'm doing that at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then I'm still going back for lunch, and then I'm still coming home for dinner, I'm not really doing my intermittent fasting, and I'm still, for me, eating more food, I feel, than I even feel comfortable, because at certain points I'm eating and I'm not even hungry. So sticking to plan and having things that, if you've got somebody handing out chocolate, having things in your desk that you can really quickly just go, no, I've got my own, thank you, and go ahead and grab that one right there and then, because then it will take care of that craving and that need. And the longer you go without saying yes to everybody else, it does get a bit easier. It's like with practice, it does get a bit easier. I'm not saying that you're gonna be successful 100% of the time. Things happen, or you can get caught unprepared, but it does get easier. So let's see. Jen said the hemp seed overnight oatmeal is okay. The peanut butter was the best. The pumpkin was all right. Jen is talking about, I believe it's Keto Connects overnight oatmeal. I haven't tried it. I have this thing about no oats being in an oatmeal, and it's still called an oatmeal. It's a hemp seed meal. And I don't know why, but it just keeps, I haven't done it. I have to try it. So I'm assuming that you've tried several flavors and versions. So that's good. Let me just come back here. Paul was saying is that I get that too. People sharing chocolate and candy. I simply say, no, thanks, I'm good. I know if I have it, my day on plan is gone. Not worth it. Yeah, and I agree, because I'll tell you what, these, especially this past week and a half, the flare-ups in my shoulder and my neck have come back like there's no tomorrow, right? Okay. I got my husband over there. No, he's been massaging my shoulders and neck for the past week, really, but especially this week. This week I had a headache for 4 days. He's got no fingers left. He's got no fingers left. Exactly. I've had a 4-day headache. My joints are hurting. Things are hurting, and I know that that's because of my not being on plan. Let me just see something here. Jen made a big batch of hibiscus tea that usually helps intermittent fasting. If I have it made. Oh, that usually helps if I have it made. Been a bad week, so this weekend catching up a bit. Meals have been good. Pulled pork and crock pot and upping the veggies. Yeah, go for the pulled pork, peeps. Go for the pulled pork. And I have a video on the Puerto Rican style pulled pork. No, 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 I don't. Next. Oh, wait, no, I do. Well, I made the Puerto Rican pork shoulder. What I haven't done is used it to make pulled pork. I'll show you how to do that along with a sauce. That can be my this week's keto foodie recipe. Ah. And you know what, Jen? I'm gonna make it in the crock pot. Yay. And I'm just gonna put it in and turn it on and leave it. Yeah, sounds good. His eyes are up here. So again, the main thing, planning. So how can you plan? Is it worth planning in two different stages? Is it worth planning for the week and planning for the weekend? Is it worth planning breakfast and lunch, or at least lunch? And then because if you feel you have more control over what happens for dinner, do you want to try only, having, perhaps bringing in with you some, like Jen says, she's got her hibiscus tea, which helps. But if you're a coffee drinker, perhaps a bulletproof coffee, which can help you not eat or feel more satisfied until you're ready to eat something. What I'm interested, let me know what works, what way would be best to split your planning. Is it let's plan the whole week? Is it let's plan the weekdays versus the weekends? Or let's plan specific meals so that we can stay on track? I've got my husband thinking here as well. He's thinking as well. Now, for him, well, you all type. I'm hoping you're typing. For him, he's gone back to salads for the most part for work.
I feel I need more green.
And his thing is he has been on such a green kick. He needs greens. So he's been having a lot of salads.
My snack is green.
Yeah, his snack is green. So whereas before he had just been taking some pork cracklings, I believe he still does as a bit of a snack. But his work, your work is very.
I've cut that down probably half.
You've cut it down half.
So that's a snack in the morning.
Yeah.
And then my main lunch is green. It's salad.
Right.
Maybe tuna.
Right. So he takes his pork crackling to be a snack in the morning. Like I said, he's got a very physical job. So he takes some pork cracklings or pork rinds, a small bag as a snack in the morning, but he has started making salads again, just to ensure that he's got his greens for lunch. Huh?
Highlight of the day.
Yeah, highlight of the day. Gorgeous. Yeah. And he has it with a bit of tuna, or if there's chicken or something, then he'll use that. Again, I'm a bit different. I try to plan. I try to plan to go to work, and sometimes and I will take my food, and sometimes I've eaten it by 10 o'clock. It's usually a salad, but I've eaten the salad at 10 o'clock and then I go off and get another lunch. So it is about having more, something more satisfying in the morning that lets me, continue to lunch. I think the bulletproof coffees perhaps are not necessarily doing it for me. So I think I might just turn around and just do some eggs and take the eggs and cheese with me.
Coffee.
Yeah, I have coffee too, but it hasn't been keeping me from.
But I have mine in every cream.
Yeah.
A lot of cream.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of cream in mine. So you know what? That might be a good. Yeah, that might be another thing. If for those of you who have bulletproof coffee, I tend to just have it with like a tablespoon of cream. Actually, I think I might need to put in more cream to keep that satiety up. And I think I'll try that. I think
I
I
think
will.
mine's 2 tablespoons.
Yeah, I think
Because
I
I
will
just
try.
squash it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't measure.
yeah. I measure it on a teaspoon. So I think I will up my fats, my dietary fats, and make it a nice and creamy coffee.
Then all you need is the salad, and
And
then
then the
you
salad.
have dinner.
Exactly. So Jen says that her pulled pork, it was pulled pork, right? Yeah. Uh, Worked out well. Just didn't write an exact recipe, but I'll do it again, and cheaper meat. Yeah, and this is something. This is something that if you've seen my recipes, you know I try to be very exact. But it is what Jen said. You know, when you're cooking versus baking, cooking is not an exact science. So what you know, so you can add more or less of a seasoning if you think if you prefer it or don't prefer it. Baking is really where you need the right measurements, or it doesn't work out all that well.
Cooking, you have to be within something like 65% of the.
Exactly.
And baking, you have to be like 90%.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And Jen also touched upon something here that she says in cheaper meat. Okay, so again, looking at this and thinking, how can I plan? How can I purchase things to stay on track? Now, for me, I would say, again, have a plan of what you're going to get, of what you're going to eat during the week, especially if dinner is fine and you're not worried about dinners, but you are worried about snacking, breakfast, and lunch, or just lunch, or snacking and lunch, or just lunch, then that's what you should be focusing on, as far as planning it, as far as going out to buy the ingredients. Again, what they say is, you know, shop the edges of the store rather than the middle. The middle is where all of the tins are, the highly processed foods. But again, think of the things that you can store in your fridge that you can turn to if you do need a snack. If you do just go, you know what, I don't want to cook, or I'm not bothered. What can sit in your fridge or on your counter that you can turn to easily? Is it some slices of chorizo or salami or cheese, little well, we have baby bells over here, you know, little pre-packaged cheeses? Is it pieces of chicken? Or if you know, it's easy enough, you know, that that Indian butter chicken that I do, you can use that for diced chicken, and instead of, but not put so much double cream, so that it's not just this uh, gloopy mess, you know, gloopy mess. So it's, and then just have it so that you can keep it in your fridge in a tub, so that you can just take and snack. You know, just it's kind just making enough for a coating, but not having it like be soupy where you need to put it on something else. Now, again, this is just snacks. This is not for meals or anything, but this is for things that you can turn to really quickly if you need to grab something because you're either too hungry or not bothered to cook something, or you just need something on the go. He's looking at me very weird.
I don't believe in snack.
No, and it's true. The more fat adapted,
meal.
yeah, the more fat adapted you get, really, the less you snack.
True.
But sometimes, and especially
You
when
know
it's
what my snack is? When I am in that snack mood,
yeah,
salt.
salt, yes,
I just suck on some salt,
yeah,
and that does it for me. If it's not salt, I have to have a meal,
yeah,
and therefore the snack becomes a meal.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, we get Himalayan salt, and we just take one little piece of Himalayan salt and we just put it in our mouth, and that's a trick. But the more fat adapted you get, the less snacking you actually need, and I can tell you that that worked for me. But if you're having a day where you are stress eating, or a period in time where you're stress eating, then it's better if the snacks are keto friendly than not, because you can at least feel a bit better that you haven't completely gone off the deep end and jumped off. Um, Lynn says sliced pickles and cheddar cheese. Snack when I get home from work if I need, then can think for later. Sliced pickles. Pickled veg are fantastic for keto. Kimchi, pickles, um, pickled onions are a bit on the sweet side. Check the carb count. But sauerkraut, all of those are good for your gut bacteria, which is very nice, and good for keto. So by all means, I do keep a pickle jar in the fridge. And again, that is also something that you can go to. My other suggestion is do not, please don't snack at the fridge. Okay, or put it on a plate and have it, because if you're snacking at the fridge, it never existed. That's what your brain will think. It never existed, and then you're gonna want something else pretty soon. What?
Free calories.
It's not free calories. It's not. Okay, so don't do that. Don't eat at the fridge. I am so bad at this at times, where I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go and grab a few pickles, and there I am standing there at the fridge from the jar, because it's my jar. It's from the jar, and I have the 3 of them, and I walk away with the last one, and then it's like I've never eaten anything at all. So if you're eating something, go out, pour it, and then bring it back and eat and have it, rather than standing and eating, whether it's standing and eating in your kitchen or at the fridge. Okay. So let's go with that. Of course, the other thing to get you back on track, measuring things. Take out that scale. In fact, take it out and leave it out if you can. Take out that scale and measure, just to understand what it is that you're having. Getting you back into measuring things is very powerful. When you stop measuring things, that's when you forget what 30 grams of cheese looks like. You think that, oh, well, it fits at the palm of my hand. And then all of a sudden that palm gets bigger, and you're like, oh, I know how that is. I know how that is. So get out and measure it. So plan, have your snacks or food that you can turn to at a moment's notice ready for you to go, and don't snack at the fridge or the kitchen. Does it count if over the sink?
The measuring though.
Huh?
The measuring.
Yeah.
I believe if you're actually properly on your macros,
yeah,
you don't need to worry about the measuring because you're not hungry. You know what I mean? It's taken care of itself, so you don't care about the.
Well, if you
the need to snack or nibble.
Yes. If you.
But if you're struggling with it, I think measuring is powerful.
Yeah. But if you're also trying to lose weight, again, you're at the point where you're sort of maintaining. Yeah. You're okay. So at that point, when you're maintaining and you're not trying to lose weight and you're not, you're doing it as a lifestyle, measuring is not really all that important. Like you said, once you're fat adapted, you're not prone to snacking. So you just have the meal that you have. When you go off or have your cheat day or have your stress eating or your emotional eating, or you're still at the beginning and you're still not fat adapted, remember, it takes about 8 to 10 weeks for you to really get fat adapted. Then you want to track, you want to measure, because it can help you stay on track if you're doing that. Does it count? Again, Jen, does it count if it's over the sink? Yes, it does. So,
if it was buy one get one free, it doesn't count.
No, it still counts if it's buy one get one free, people.
It's free.
It still does. Okay? Okay.
No,
I just want to point out that I have nothing to drink here. I just want to point it out. He's shuffling off. Yay. You should see this shuffle. I'm not going to show you, but you should see it. So, right. Going over the 3 again. Plan and decide again which plan. Are you planning certain meals for the week? Are you planning the week versus the weekend? Or are you planning everything? Okay. Have foods that can just sit in your fridge and be ready for when you need it. It might be you take a bunch of eggs, boil them, and just keep them in your fridge just in case. Oh, hello. Thank you. I've got good staff, I tell you. Okay. Again, might be you just boil a bunch of eggs, keep the, hard boil them, keep them in your fridge. You can have one as a snack, or you can make egg salad. Have some jalapenos, have some pickles, have some cheeses, have some salami. All of those that you can just quickly go to. Have some chicken drumsticks. Again, going to the grocery store, and when you're getting your meats, because of the high fat content you can now eat when it comes to meat, it's going to be cheaper in general to purchase, unless you're purchasing organic. Organic will still be more expensive, but if you are, the less you snack, the cheaper it gets. Let's put it that way. Get your big bags of salads, or your big bags of spinach, big bags of kale. Get your big punnet of mushrooms and zucchinis or courgettes. Those, I would think, staples. And you can portion them out. You can freeze them. You put them in your freezer until you need them. But you should be cooking with them all the time. Get your lettuce leaves in there, into your fridge. Those should be the bulk of your plate. And then, because it's your 7 cups. I'm not Dr. Berg. I can't have 7 cups. Although I have to say, we just had a meal today, right? It was a British Sunday meal. So it was roasted chicken, which smelled amazing. It was with thyme and rosemary and everything. But then he put Nando's sauce, which was fantastic. But I would have liked to just have more of the thyme and rosemary and lemon chicken. It was beautiful.
It didn't need the sauce.
It didn't need the sauce. It was fantastic. But with it, we had mushroom, spinach, courgette or zucchini, and cauliflower mash made with extra thick cream. So for us, it's extra thick double cream. For you, it'd be extra thick heavy cream. And butter, egg yolk,
and basic Parmesan.
And Parmesan cheese. Sometimes he puts bacon bits in there. But I'll tell you, the plate was huge and it was stacked. And that was our pretty much only meal. I did have some tinned salmon earlier. But that was our meal for the day, really, other than drinking stuff. And it was 80% veg. So when you're thinking about your meals, think about the veg first, then the meat. And it's kind of like when you go out to a restaurant. Your meat is about that big, and the veg it sits around it. So think about restaurant type servings when you're thinking about how to put together your plate and what should go on your plate. So the meat, I would say, is the accessory to the veg that's on your plate. And also, again, get leafy greens. I have been this past couple of weeks, I've been on quite a Brussels sprout kick. And on Friday, I asked for a homemade burger, 150 grams of minced beef made into a patty, into a burger, with Brussels sprouts that had been roasted with our chili infused olive oil, because it was just so good. So But again, when you are buying your meat, again, you have choices, because now, whereas before you didn't want to get into the chicken thighs or the chicken wings or the chicken drumsticks, you know, you wanted to stay closer to the white meat, or you had to go for the 5% lean mince. Now I'm struggling because I can't find 20% mince. Everything is 12 or 5. However, those are, you'll find that they're cheaper. Um, and so is the chicken, the chicken thighs, the chicken drumsticks, the chicken wings. They're cheaper, and there's nothing to say you can't go out for the family, get a whole bunch of chicken wings, cook them in some coconut oil, and have at it. Frank's hot sauce, yes, it's keto friendly. Put that puppy on your wings and have a fantastic wing day. It works. It works. Get some veg in there too, though, please. Get some veg in there. Yes, Jen was saying that she's going to try this later, and it is buffalo cauliflower from Low Carb Simple. I've actually tried it, and I liked it. It turned out slightly different than what I expected it to, but I still enjoyed it. And there is nothing sad about chopping up a bunch of cauliflower. I mean, I do this all the time. Chop up a bunch of cauliflower florets, and then put them in a baking, not a baking tray, but like one of those Pyrex dishes, like a baking dish, not a baking tray, something that holds it. And just sprinkling some Parmesan and some cheddar cheese on it and some salt and pepper, and let it roast. You don't have to parboil them. You don't have to do anything. Just pop them in and roast them for about 25 minutes. And that, ooh, that was nice. Last week, I also did my Puerto Rican bistec encebollado, or steak and onions. And this is something my husband did not like, because he doesn't like vinegary tasting things. But for me, it tasted,
I did not like it.
He did not like it, but it was too vinegary.
I understood it was nice, good, but not for me.
Yes. But for me, it was like my mom made it. And I understand that if I were to make this again, because the gentleman over there needs to eat, I'd make it with much less vinegar, because my mom used to make it with just a capful or two of vinegar. I used a 1/4 cup because I was making a lot along with the onions. But it tenderizes the meat. You can also do this with chicken. So you can do the same thing instead of steak and onions, chicken and onions. You can do the same thing. I would say you definitely don't want to use a 1/4 cup of vinegar. You want to definitely use two capfuls of it. And that, again, that's if you're feeding 4. So for 1 capful for every 2 chicken breasts, or however you're slicing it. But it works well for that as well. My mom used to make that as well. And my husband has had that before, and really liked how the chicken breast did not dry out. And that was because of the vinegar. So, so there are some things in there for you. Anything else that you want to ask that might be a bit helpful when it comes to the stress? And again, because I never got to the end of it. 1. Oh, I forgot them now. I forgot them now. Okay, 1, plan your meals. 2, have stuff ready in your fridge that is a go-to, or in your drawers that is a go-to if you absolutely need it and cannot wait anymore. And 3, measure your food. 3.5, you get my pinky there, or 3.5, there you go. Is again, when you go shopping, shop the edges, and explore. Have your veg be the main part of the meal, and the meat just be like a little sprinkle on top. Is there anything else that you'd like to ask, or has this helped you? I'll give you some time while I drink my drink. I'm just taking my YouTube here, because I can see myself over here, but I can't see the comments. I have to look down on my tablet for the comments. Okay. Ooh, sorry, I've knocked the table. Right. Again, for me, this has been a stressful 2 weeks, and I have let it derail me. So for me, it is starting again. And you know what? It's okay to do. It's okay to do. Um, and also for me, the fact that I've seen a lot of my aches and pains that I used to have come back. And I don't like that feeling. Um, so yeah,
Right.
getting back to eating the keto way, because I do, like I said, I don't like the feeling of it. So, oop, there. Well, because I thought she was going to knock that down. So that's going to be my focus: getting back on track, getting my water in, and having plans. What I'll do is tomorrow, I'll post up on the um, Keto Foodie page and on the Keto Foodie support group. I'll post what my plan is for the week, so that you can see it. And other than that, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I will be coming back and looking at these comments. You can always send me a message, um, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram if you're following me, or even Twitter if you're following me. But I'm always here to help support you. That's the whole point to this. And until next time. Oh, wait. One more thing. I've been seeing many commercials online on YouTube for keto supplements. Are they really needed? I tend not to go that way. No, you don't need them. You don't need them. Like I said, the only supplement that you would probably want to use, well, there's two. There's two. One, I would say you definitely want to use. The second one, if you wanna. Beyond that, a multivitamin, or it's up to you if you want to take certain supplements for something specific for you. Keto supplements, not needed. MCT oil, by all means, go for that. Again, because they of the energy boost, the brain boost that it gives you, more focus, more clarity, and I'll tell you, that is true. It is true. It is correct. And again, we're not talking about other ones that make you just bing, bing, bing off the walls. That's not what it is. It's just general clarity and focus. And you notice it. You notice that you're not tired or fatigued the way you normally are, whether it's mental or physical. It will actually help. Hiya. Hello. Oh, and a purple heart. I like purple. Thank you. um, but really, MCT oil is the only one that I would say, you know what, go out and get, just for its general benefits, not for its general benefits, plus the fact that it helps you create more ketones naturally. Beyond that, you might want to get electrolyte tablets, and that is mainly so that you are not experiencing keto flu if you're just starting, or if you're restarting, or if you've had a cheat week. If you've had a cheat day or two, probably not necessary. If you've gone more than that and you've been off for a week or two, then you want to make sure that you are um, uh, keeping your electrolytes up, your sodium, your potassium, your magnesium. I'm fine, thank you. How are you? So Jen says, is there a specific MCT oil I recommend? Yes, I do. I will link to that both in my YouTube down below once I'm done with this. I'll also link to it in my Facebook page under this video. I will link you to my Facebook, my Amazon associates, through my associates link. It doesn't cost you anything else, anything extra, and I get a little bit just to keep me ticking. So support me. But yeah, I'll link you to that. All right, good. We're almost wrapping up here. I just had one last question that my friend Jennifer had asked, and that was supplements. So yeah, and my answers to that are MCT oil, definitely. Electrolytes if you want to, because you can get your sodium, your potassium, and your magnesium through the food that you're eating. Beyond that, again, if you have certain things that you want to supplement because they will help your specific body, whether it's some vitamin D, some vitamin K, some of the vitamin Bs, you know, like I take niacin, it helps, you know, with converting energy. I also sometimes take choline, also helps convert energy, and taking it to the muscle and getting things done. But choline, you can get choline from eating eggs. Okay, so if you're eating the right things, you sort of don't need the supplements, but a multivitamin never hurt anybody if you already take it or are thinking of taking it. Just don't go overboard. But really, that's it. These special keto supplements, not necessary. Not
It's marketing.
necessary. It's marketing. You know, you keto is real food. Back to
That's
real
people.
food.
That's corporations getting
Yeah,
in on the fad.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. So that's my answer to that. Okay. Right, so I'm going to wrap this up here because it's almost been an hour, and ooh, we had a good chat this time. So yay, thank you for that. If you haven't seen my latest video, go and see my latest video. Because again, that's steak and onions, and again, you can change the steak to chicken. Actually, you can also do it with turkey steaks. My mom's done it with turkey steaks, and they've been just fine. So try them out, enjoy. And until next time, I say to you, have a fantastic keto journey. And until next time, I say to you, foodie, bye. So now I'm going to get closer. I'm going to send some kisses. And thank you. See you next time.